Welcome to Cultivate the Soul channel. If you're looking for inner peace, life inspiration, and a way to transform your life from within, then you're exactly where you need to be. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications, so you won't miss any of our latest videos on personal growth, healing, and living more consciously every day. Have you ever felt like you're living a life that doesn't really belong to you? You wake up one morning and quietly ask yourself, who am I really living for? Is it your family? Your boss? Society? Or is it for some polished version of yourself that you were taught to become, someone who's nice, obedient, or a functioning member of society? You try so hard to be kind, polite, reliable, agreeable, even when all you really want to do is scream, no. You find yourself exhausted, burned out, from trying to please everyone, except the one person who matters most, yourself. If you've ever felt this way, you're not alone. The book, You Do You, by Sarah Knight, and the deep reflection we're about to dive into, isn't here to teach you how to be better, or how to fix yourself according to someone else's idea of perfection. Instead, it's here to help you strip away the masks, stop asking for permission to be yourself, and reclaim the right to live your life on your own terms, with zero shame or guilt. Because the truth is, the world doesn't need another copy and paste version of someone else. What it really needs is the real you. The bold you. The different you. The one who says no when they mean it. The one who dares to live unapologetically. And if you're ready to start that journey toward freedom, stick around. Because the path to reclaiming your life begins right here. And it begins with you. Have you ever noticed that from a very young age, we're taught to become someone else? Be like your older brother who gets straight A's. Be like the neighbor's well-behaved daughter. Be like those successful people with degrees, high-paying jobs, big houses, and picture-perfect families. Bit by bit, year by year, we're trained, not to become ourselves, but to become a polished version of what others expect us to be. Modern society suffers from a subtle but serious illness, comparison and imitation. We drown in role models we're told to follow, trends we're told to catch up with, and standards we're told to live by. And somewhere along the way, we lose our voice. We lose our uniqueness. We lose ourselves. In her book, You Do You, Sarah Knight doesn't sugarcoat the truth. You weren't born to be a replica of someone else. You were born to be yourself, fully, unapologetically, and without permission. But let's face it, being yourself is a lot harder than it sounds. Why? Because society doesn't like different. The more you blend in, the more acceptable you seem. The more normal you are, the easier it is to avoid conflict. But that same normal becomes a cage, a life of quiet compromise, inner frustration, and soul-numbing routines. Have you ever smiled when you didn't want to? Said yes when your heart screamed no? Stayed in a stable job while slowly dying inside, day by day? That's the cost of living as a copy. You may feel safe, but you lose your freedom. Why does authenticity make people uncomfortable? Because when you show up as your real self, you become a mirror, reflecting back the fears and regrets of those who haven't yet dared to live their truth. A woman who chooses to stay single at 35, without kids or a wedding ring, is often labeled weird. A man who quits his corporate job to paint murals on the street is seen as wasting his potential. Someone who says no to reunions, weddings, or forced small talk is called rude, cold, or antisocial. But here's the thing, you're not alive to make the world comfortable, you're here to make your life meaningful. Let's go deeper. Why are we afraid to be real? Because from childhood, we've been conditioned to crave acceptance. We wanted the teacher's praise, our parents' pride, our peers' approval, and society's validation. And to get those things, we learned to trade parts of ourselves. We wore masks. We stayed silent. We compromised, just to be called normal. But here's the truth. Normal isn't the goal. Normal is the prison that kills your spark. The world needs you, not the nice version of you. The world doesn't need more clones. What it needs are originals, people with wild ideas, bold voices, and fearless decisions. What seems weird today is often what inspires people tomorrow. Steve Jobs dropped out of college. Lady Gaga was mocked for being too much. Elon Musk was bullied for being obsessed with science. If they had tried to be palatable and easy to digest, the world would have missed out on their magic. And the same goes for you. You don't need to become somebody. You just need to become you, fully, unapologetically, and without waiting for anyone's approval. In a world that glorifies the grind, the idea of accepting yourself is often misunderstood, even judged, as weakness. If you say you don't want to climb the corporate ladder, don't want to get married, or don't want to follow your family's expectations, chances are, someone will label you as lazy, unambitious, or even selfish. But Sarah Knight, in her book You Do You, boldly challenges that narrative. She says, accepting yourself doesn't mean giving up on life. It means you're brave enough to be real, even if that makes other people uncomfortable. And she's right. In a world that constantly pushes us to be better, faster, more successful, taking a step back to ask, what do I really want, is a radical act. Self-acceptance is not stagnation. Many believe that if you accept yourself, you'll stop growing. But that's a dangerous misconception. In truth, accepting who you are gives you a strong foundation for healthy growth. You stop trying to prove yourself to the world. You stop running out of fear of falling behind. You grow because you love yourself, not because you hate who you are. That's the difference between pushing yourself from self-judgment and nurturing yourself from self-compassion. Why does society resist personal freedom? It sounds ironic, but it's true. Society often feels threatened by people who dare to live freely, because they break the rules most people cling to. Someone who chooses minimalism and rejects the chase for status or wealth makes others question, if they're happy with less, does that mean I'm chasing the wrong things? Someone who walks away from the conventional path, college, career, marriage, becomes a quiet challenge to the values society has spent generations building. So when you choose to live your truth, you're not just making a personal choice, you're making a declaration of independence, a brave statement that you don't need to be like everyone else to feel whole. Inner freedom begins the moment you stop trying to fix yourself for others. Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt disappointed? Not because something was actually wrong with you, but because someone else told you that you should be different. You should lose weight. Boys don't cry. Girls shouldn't be too strong or independent. Success means making a lot of money. These comments might sound harmless on the surface, but over time, they become toxic little mantras that shape how we see ourselves, and they plant the belief that we are never quite enough. And so begins the invisible race. You chase unrealistic ideals. You mold yourself into what others want. And slowly, quietly, you disappear. Sarah Knight reminds us. You don't need to fix yourself. You need to let go of expectations that don't belong to you. Self-acceptance, the first step to a life with no regrets. Now imagine standing in front of a mirror that doesn't judge. You see the things you like, and the things you're still working on. But instead of rushing to fix everything, you breathe and smile. You say to yourself, "This is me." And that's enough. That is the beginning of freedom. Freedom from guilt. Freedom from pressure. Freedom from the exhausting need to perform for the world. And from that space, you finally have room to grow, authentically, sustainably, from the inside out. Final thoughts. We often think we have to hustle, to transform, to become someone else before we can deserve love or validation. But sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is to pause, look inward, and embrace yourself, fully, without shame. And that just might be the very first step toward real peace. Have you ever said yes while your whole mind was screaming no? You attended a party you didn't want to go to. You agreed to help someone even though you were already exhausted. You kept trying to please others just to feel like a good person. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. And you're not weak. You're simply missing a crucial skill that few people teach. The art of saying no. Why are we so afraid to say no? From a young age, we're taught that being good means being obedient. That saying no is rude, selfish, inconsiderate. That good people are always agreeable. So we grow up carrying the fear of being disliked, letting others down, being seen as difficult or uncooperative. Sarah Knight calls this the yes culture, a mindset where people give up their own boundaries just to keep the peace. But what's the cost? The cost is burnout. The cost is living someone else's life. The cost is hidden resentment from constantly sacrificing yourself to please the world. No is not rude, it's self-respect. Here's a simple but powerful truth. Saying no doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you someone with boundaries. And people with boundaries are those who respect their own energy, time, and values. Sarah Knight introduces a powerful idea, the resentment-free life. It's a life where you say yes only when you mean it, and no when you don't. No guilt. No apology. Just honesty. Why no is especially hard in Asian culture. In Asian cultures, including Vietnam, social harmony is often prioritized over individual comfort. People are taught to be polite, agreeable, and not rock the boat. You get invited to a wedding, whether you're close to the person or not, you go out of respect. You get asked for help, though exhausted, you say yes to avoid awkwardness. You're urged to join a social gathering, but you need quiet time, you show up anyway to avoid being called antisocial. But when you keep saying yes to things that drain you, you're sacrificing the most precious thing you have. Your peace of mind. 3 levels of saying no, from soft to strong. 1. Gentle no. Sorry, I can't make it today. Thanks for the invite, but I need to rest. 2. Clear no. This isn't something I can take on right now. I'm not comfortable with that, so I'll have to pass. 3. Firm no. No. And you don't need to explain if you don't want to. The key is, you don't owe anyone a justification for your boundaries. Silence after no is also a powerful way of saying, I have a choice, and I don't feel guilty for using it. Saying no doesn't drain your energy, it gives it back. Every time you say no to something unnecessary, you're saying yes to yourself. Yes to rest. Yes to mental clarity. Yes to what truly matters. You can't do everything, help everyone, be everywhere, and still stay healthy, centered, and joyful. Life is not a movie made to please every audience. It's a personal piece of art, and you're the director. And a good director knows how to cut the scenes that don't belong. Remember, saying no doesn't make you mean. Saying no shows that you've grown, and that you understand your limits. Saying no is a loving act toward yourself. And every time you say no to what's wrong for you, you open the door for something better to come in. What is success, really? A question that seems simple, yet makes millions feel lost or insecure their entire lives. For many people, success means a big house, a nice car, getting married before 30, a job title that sounds prestigious, a fat paycheck with 8 digits. And if you don't have all that, you're seen as unsuccessful, maybe even a failure. But who created those standards? Who gets to decide what success means for you? There's no universal formula for success. Sarah Knight makes one thing very clear. Success is subjective. No one else gets to define it for you, unless you let them. If success to you looks like doing work you love, living somewhere that brings peace, having time for your family, pets, or plants, being fully yourself without pretending, then guess what? That is success. The problem is, society never teaches us to define success for ourselves. Instead, it teaches us to chase a success template, like some factory-made ideal. Deep dive, comparison is the silent killer of inner peace. We live in the age of social media. Every day, you see someone buys a new car, someone gets married, someone is off to Bali, someone looks 25 at age 40. Even if you were fine 5 minutes ago, you suddenly feel the anxiety creeping in. Am I falling behind? Why don't I have that? Am I enough? Comparison is an addiction. It robs you of gratitude. It makes you feel like you're never enough, no matter how far you've come. And worst of all, it tricks you into abandoning your own path. A truth worth repeating. You may not have a 5-story house, but you sleep peacefully at night. You don't wear designer labels, but you don't owe a dime and live on your own terms. You're not as successful as others, but you're free and not forced to do what you hate. So why feel like a loser? Because you've been measuring your life with someone else's ruler. Redefine success on your own terms. Sarah Knight encourages you to write your own definition of success. Not, I have to have this, I need to achieve that. But rather, what kind of life do I want to live? What makes me feel alive and at peace? When I reach the end of my life, what will I regret not doing? Some people feel successful with millions in the bank. Others feel successful with a worn-out guitar and a sunny balcony. Both are valid, if it's what they chose, not what they were pressured into. Practice this exercise. 1. List 3 things you're most proud of that have nothing to do with money or fame. Maybe you overcame depression. Maybe you left a toxic relationship. Maybe you support your parents alone. 2. List 3 things you want in the next 5 years, things that matter to you, not society. Maybe it's learning to cook, traveling solo, or adopting a dog. 3. Recall a moment that made you laugh or feel joyful, without any achievement involved. These are often your real success moments. Success is not a race. There is no track. Only your personal journey. You have the right to write your own standards. You have the right to go slow, take detours, or even rest. You have the right to live a small life, if it's honest and fulfilling. Because real success is not about having more. It's about feeling enough. Be true to yourself, a bold, empowering mantra. But also one of the most misunderstood. Many people hear it and immediately think, that's just an excuse to be selfish. We are raised to believe that. We must be nice. We should put others first. We must sacrifice for the group. So when you start saying no instead of nodding, when you choose a path that others don't understand, you'll probably hear things like, that's selfish. Why are you like this now? You've changed, and not in a good way. So let's pause and ask, is living authentically truly selfish? Or is it the bravest thing you'll ever do? Being true to yourself doesn't mean hurting others. Sarah Knight draws a clear line. Living authentically equals being honest about your needs, limits, and desires. Selfishness equals intentionally harming others for personal gain. If you decline an invitation because you need rest, turn down a project that doesn't align with your values, leave a draining relationship, that's not selfish. That's called self-respect. Why do people call you selfish when you choose yourself? Because you're breaking their expectations. They're used to you being agreeable, available, self-sacrificing. So when you stop playing that role, it unsettles them. Often, they're not angry that you're being selfish. They're angry because you're doing something they wish they had the courage to do. You can't make everyone happy, except yourself. Trying to please everyone is the fastest route to burnout, depression, and losing yourself completely. You weren't born to fulfill a checklist made by others. You were born to explore life your way. Be yourself unapologetically. Choose what fits you, not what satisfies others. Practice this reflection. 1. List 5 things you've done just because you were afraid of upsetting others. Maybe you said yes while exhausted, stayed silent when hurt, or dated someone out of guilt. 2. List 5 things you truly want to do, but haven't, because you're afraid people will judge you. Things like skipping a wedding, quitting a stable job, or not having kids. 3. Pick one from the list and try acting on it. Notice what really happens. Is it as bad as you feared? There's good selfishness and bad selfishness. According to Sarah Knight, there's a form of positive selfishness. Prioritizing yourself so you can stay sane, inspired, and emotionally present. Because you can't pour from an empty cup. Only when you live truthfully can you truly give, with energy, love, and integrity. Living authentically isn't selfish. It's courageous. The courage to stop apologizing for who you are. Stop living on autopilot. Stop performing someone else's idea of your life. And above all, it's the first step toward living a full, fulfilling life. What will people think if I live like this? A seemingly harmless question, yet one that chains millions to a life shaped by other people's expectations. How many times have you delayed your dreams, changed direction, abandoned your passion, simply because you were afraid of being judged, afraid of being called reckless, weird, disappointing to your parents, or too much for your friends? So you end up living a life that's just safe enough, just stable enough, but not truly yours. Sarah Knight calls this a collective fear, a form of invisible control built from looks, gossip, and unchosen standards. You're not being watched as closely as you think. One of Sarah Knight's most liberating insights is, you're not as important to others as you think. It sounds harsh, but it's freeing. Most people are too busy worrying about themselves. Sure, they may gossip a little, judge briefly. Then they move on. That fear of what everyone thinks is usually just an echo of your own insecurity. Where does social pressure come from? From families with high expectations. From friends who all seem successful. From social media, a stage where everyone looks happy, perfect, and in control. Sarah reminds us, social media is a highlight reel, not reality. You're comparing your messy behind the scenes to someone else's carefully edited spotlight. Strategies for smashing social pressure. 1. Identify what you're doing just because of what people might think. Write down things you keep forcing yourself to do, even though your heart's not in it. 2. Make a list, whose opinion really matters. Many criticisms come from people who don't actually matter in your life. If someone doesn't genuinely love or support you, they don't deserve a vote in your decisions. 3. Flip the question, if I died tomorrow, would I regret living to please others? It's blunt, but it wakes up your courage. 4. Build your support circle. Find 1 or 2 people who get you and support you. That's often all you need to outweigh a world of criticism. People only have the power you give them. Other people's opinions can't destroy you, unless you let them define your worth. Sarah Knight makes it clear. Their opinions aren't truth. And you don't need anyone's permission to live your life. You may never fully escape social pressure. But you can absolutely choose not to let it control your life. Life is too short to live like you're constantly being watched. And far too precious to be wasted on expectations that aren't yours. You don't need anyone to approve your life. You just need to approve of yourself. One of the most powerful words you'll ever learn is no. But it's also the word you fear the most. Sarah Knight doesn't sugarcoat it. The word no isn't just a response, it's a life skill, a weapon of protection, a declaration of self-respect. We've been conditioned to believe saying no is selfish. Saying no is rude. Saying no will hurt others. So we nod. We smile. We agree, while deep inside, we burn with exhaustion and resentment. Saying no equals an act of self-respect. When you learn to turn things down, you're actually protecting your time and energy. Establishing clear boundaries. Declaring that your life is yours to control. Sarah Knight makes it clear. Saying no isn't rude. Saying no is honest, clear, and above all, an act of self-love. When you don't know how to say no, you sabotage yourself. Ever said yes just to avoid the awkwardness of a no? Took on work even when you were burnt out? Went to social events you hated? Helped someone while silently screaming for help yourself? The result? You feel used, overwhelmed, and even lose respect for yourself. Sarah highlights a powerful truth. You teach people how to treat you by what you tolerate. The psychology behind our fear of no. Fear of being disliked. Fear of being misunderstood. Fear of missing out. Fear of guilt. But here's the hard truth. If you keep sacrificing your needs to please others, you're saying no to yourself every single day. How to say no without guilt. 1. Reframe the concept. No isn't abandoning others, it's choosing yourself. 2. Use kind but firm language. Thank you, but I can't. I need to prioritize my time/health right now. I really appreciate the offer, but I'll have to pass this time. 3. Practice regularly. Like muscles, the more you use no, the stronger your boundary setting gets. 4. Avoid over-explaining. You don't owe anyone a thesis for why you're declining. No is a complete sentence. A life that knows when to say no is a life of sovereignty. Sarah encourages you to see no as a shield of personal freedom. No to draining commitments. No to toxic people. No to borrowed expectations. Because every no you say to the wrong thing is a yes to the right one. Remember, no isn't cruel. No is a boundary, a line you draw in the sand to protect your peace. And you don't need to justify it. You don't need permission. All you need is the courage to put yourself first. You don't have to apologize for being yourself, as long as you're not hurting anyone. Sarah Knight doesn't beat around the bush. This seemingly simple statement holds the key to personal liberation from insecurity, guilt, and a constant hunger for approval. Why do we keep apologizing? For just being ourselves. Apologizing for having a different personality. Apologizing for choosing an unconventional lifestyle. Apologizing for speaking our truth. Apologizing for saying no. And even apologizing for being happy. Society has programmed us to shrink ourselves to fit expectations and norms, rather than grow into the truest version of who we are. Sarah Knight asks a powerful question. Why should you apologize when you haven't done anything wrong? The trap of constant self-adjustment, and the cost of it. When you live to avoid being judged, you start censoring your thoughts, suppressing your emotions, silencing your personal desires. Over time, you become the most diluted version of yourself, agreeable on the outside, but disconnected on the inside. Sarah refuses to accept that. And neither should you. Living unapologetically is not equal to being selfish. Let's be clear. Living unapologetically does not mean being rude or careless. It means not being ashamed of who you are. Not shrinking to make others comfortable. Not changing your essence to gain approval. Not apologizing for living a life that suits you. As long as you're not harming anyone, you don't owe explanations, don't need approval, and certainly don't need to bow your head. Unapologetic is the final stage of true freedom. Imagine being able to express your real emotions without being called too sensitive. Dress the way you like without needing a reason. Say no to invites without guilt. Walk into a room owning your identity without needing permission to shine. That's you, unfiltered, uncensored, unapologetically whole. How to begin living unapologetically. 1. Write down 5 things you felt ashamed about, then ask yourself, did I actually do anything wrong? Example, I feel guilty for not getting married by 30. 2. Ask yourself, who set that standard? Do I even agree with it? 3. Practice rejecting guilt. Every time you're about to apologize for something that isn't wrong, pause. Take a breath and say, I don't owe anyone an apology for being myself. 4. Create a personal mantra. Try something like, I don't apologize for being real. I won't shrink to fit their mold. My life. My truth. No apology. Living unapologetically isn't rebellion, it's self-respect in action. You weren't born to please everyone. You were born to be a bold, vocal, self-honoring human, without guilt, without apology. People will always judge you no matter what you do. So why not be yourself? That's how Sarah Knight tears down the mask of social double standards, a world where everything you do is compared, criticized, or judged against a vague, ever-changing set of expectations you never agreed to in the first place. You can't win a game where the rules keep changing. Think about this. If you're single, why aren't you married yet? If you're married, when are you having kids? Have kids? Why don't you have another? Have 2. Why are your kids always sick? See the pattern? You can't win. Whatever path you choose, someone will say you're doing it wrong. Sarah calls this the endless loop of judgment, driven by invisible standards that no one asked for, yet everyone seems to carry. True freedom begins when you stop playing by other people's rules. You can't control what others say. But you can. Refuse to let them dictate your life choices. Reject vague, toxic standards. Stop living to become the most agreeable version of yourself. Sarah Knight puts it bluntly. Don't try to please everyone, you're not pizza. Common double standards you must crush. 1. Strong women are called too aggressive, while sensitive ones are called too emotional. Reality, you are allowed to be assertive and soft, depending on who you are. 2. Introverts are labeled cold, extroverts are called attention seekers. Your personality isn't a flaw that needs fixing. 3. Stay single and you're pitted, marry early and you're rushing it. Who decides the right timing? Certainly not strangers. How to shut down double standards, firmly and gracefully. Respond without defensiveness. I don't have kids because I don't want to. That's it. Don't offer justifications for your choices. You don't need to explain why you love yourself, live simply, or change careers at 35. Set boundaries and hold them. Not everyone deserves to know your reasons. Practice this line often. I live this way because I choose to. And I'm okay with that. The most dangerous double standard, self-judgment. Sometimes the harshest critic is you. Your inner voice whispers, I should be doing more. I'm not good enough yet. I'm selfish for saying no. Sarah reminds us, freedom doesn't come from society accepting you. It comes from forgiving yourself, and giving yourself permission to live true. You weren't born to follow an unwritten rulebook created by people who don't live your life. Double standards will always exist. But you don't have to obey them. You can live by your own blueprint, because this is the only life that belongs to you. Every time you say yes to something you don't want, you're saying no to yourself. This simple yet powerful idea from Sarah Knight is the foundation of a healthy, self-directed, meaningful life. In a world where everyone tries to fit in and avoid judgment, the ability to resist selectively and intentionally becomes your shield, protecting your time, energy, and identity. No is a powerful word, and it must be used wisely. Many people are afraid to say no. Why? Fear of disappointing others. Fear of being judged as selfish. Fear of missing out. Fear of conflict. This fear traps us in burnout, constantly saying yes, overcommitting, and losing sight of our true desires just to please others. Sarah Knight doesn't encourage rudeness or apathy. She encourages you to be honest, clear, and protective of your boundaries. Positive resistance isn't rebellion, it's knowing what works for you. Resistance here doesn't mean battling society. It simply means pausing, and choosing not to follow something that no longer fits. Examples. You decline a weekend outing because you need rest. That's not selfish. That's wise. You say no to unpaid overtime. That's not irresponsible. That's self-care. You don't want to get married just because it's time. That's not disobedience. That's authenticity. Saying no is how you say yes to a life that's yours. Sarah Knight believes that every time you courageously say no to what doesn't serve you, you create space to say yes to opportunities that truly excite you, relationships that make you feel fulfilled, habits and routines aligned with your values. Saying no doesn't make you smaller. It makes you sharper, clearer, and more trustworthy to yourself and others. How to say no respectfully and confidently. 1.Be clear and brief. Thanks for the invite, but I won't be joining. 2.No need for long explanations. This doesn't align with my current goals. 3. Use a neutral yet firm tone. Avoid sounding overly apologetic or defensive. 4. Offer redirection if needed. I can't help this time, but I might support in another way. Unexpected benefits of practicing positive resistance. You'll be more respected, because people recognize your boundaries. You'll feel less exhausted, as you stop forcing yourself to do things you resent. You'll have more time and energy for what truly matters. You'll feel freer and lighter, because your life reflects your choices, not others' demands. Sarah Knight doesn't teach selfishness. She teaches self-respect, honest boundaries, and choosing where your energy goes, intentionally. Positive resistance doesn't disconnect you from others. It reconnects you with your true self, and from there, allows you to build stronger, healthier relationships. You don't have to apologize for being yourself, as long as you're not hurting anyone. In previous parts, we explored how to live authentically, set boundaries, say no, and choose what genuinely suits you. But theory isn't enough. Sarah Knight wants you to turn that mindset into a daily lifestyle. This part will guide you through concrete strategies to stop living by other people's expectations. Become grounded and self-led. Most importantly, feel no guilt for being who you are. 1. Identify your core values. If you don't know what you stand for, you'll fall into what others expect from you. Ask yourself, what makes me feel most authentic? What qualities do I truly value in myself? What does success mean to me? When these are clear, you become less vulnerable to outside judgment or societal norms. 2. Adopt the rule, no need to apologize for not being like everyone else. Sarah Knight suggests you ditch the habit of unnecessary apologies, such as, "Sorry, I'm a bit weird." No need. "Sorry for not replying sooner." Not needed if you were busy. "Sorry, I don't like parties." Why apologize for your preferences? You're not wrong for being honest. And you don't owe anyone an apology just because you're different. 3. Reframe your thinking. Other people's opinions are not facts. One major barrier to living authentically is fear of being labeled. You're selfish. You're not normal. You've changed. But remember, other people's opinions reflect their own values, not your truth. You don't have to be normal by anyone else's standards, as long as you're kind, aware, and not causing harm. 4. Stay grounded amid chaos. As you start living true to yourself, you may face pushback from family, distance from some friends, pressure to go back to who you were. Treat this as a test of courage. Each time you hold your ground, you prove you are strong enough to stand in your truth. Practice meditation, journaling, or simply take a deep breath. These help you stay centered and clear. 5. Repeat this daily. I don't have to apologize for being me. Sarah Knight calls this a mantra for those learning to live unapologetically. Say it every morning, and especially when you feel like shrinking yourself to fit in. Let the world expand to fit you, not the other way around. You weren't born to live under someone else's gaze. You're here to experience life in your own unique way, whether quirky, quiet, rebellious, or spontaneous. When you live unapologetically, you don't just free yourself, you inspire others to do the same. We've come a long way through you, from breaking out of society's molds, to reclaiming your inner voice, setting boundaries, and choosing to live without apology. You are unique, and that's your superpower. Sarah Knight isn't trying to turn you into a model citizen or a fake version of success. She wants you to understand something much more powerful. The more honest you are with yourself, the less the outside world can hurt you. The world will always try to make you question your worth. Are you enough? Are you too weird? Are you living the right way? And Sarah wants you to be able to answer with confidence. I'm living true to myself, and that's enough. The courage to be yourself, every single day. Not everyone will accept you when you choose to be your authentic self. But those who do, they'll be the ones who truly matter. Because when you stop pretending, your relationships become more honest. Your mind feels lighter. And life finally feels like it belongs to you. Remember the core message. Being yourself isn't selfish. It's an act of bravery. You don't have to please everyone. You just need the courage to please yourself first. Thank you for joining us on this powerful journey through Sarah Knight's You Do You. We hope that with each chapter, you not only gained clarity about what it means to live authentically, but that you also felt empowered to start living that way, today. If you found this content valuable, please like, share the video, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss out on more inspiring content for self-growth. And always remember, you don't need to be accepted by the entire world. You just need to be accepted by yourself. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, live boldly, live freely, and above all, live as you.